Yo, what is up? Dakota, what's up, man? What's up? Happy Wednesday. It is hump day officially, December the 30th. Hope you're all doing well. Taking your questions, comments, calls, of course. Brother, what is up, brother? Again, taking your questions, comments, calls here on a Wednesday. Mike Hall, what is going on? Let's see. Phil, what's up, man? What is up? What is up? We'll kind of let people file in here just a second. Of course, Dakota with the question about the Bowl Mania picks. So, my biggest L I've taken so far in the Bowl Mania, I had Coastal as like one of my top picks. And of course, they lost. So, yeah, I mean, that kind of killed me. You know, because that's the big thing about that Bowl Mania stuff, right? Like, you can lose some games, but you better win your big ones. And sure enough, I lost one of my biggest picks. So, I mean, it looks like Dakota, you're actually leading. That's why you're so anxious to ask, by the way. That's why you're so anxious to ask. So, now I understand. Now I understand why you're asking. Dude, yeah, my picks have sucked, honestly. And of course, I picked Wake Forest to beat Wisconsin. That's probably a terrible pick. I won both games last night, though. I won Texas and I won Miami. So, and I've got Oklahoma tonight. So. Oh, and what's going on, man? What's going on? Lindsay, yeah. Coastal was let's see. Coastal was literally my 26-point pick. I mean, just unreal. Terrible. Yeah, I've got Oklahoma beating Florida, though. Yeah, I don't trust Florida's defense for a second, man. Which is kind of another reason why I hope we don't hire old Todd Grantham, bro. His defenses look terrible this year. Let's see. Jordan Beard, no hat gang. Yes, sir. Today we're going with the little curl. It might be a vibe. The curl might be a vibe. So, Sean, what's going on, man? Great day to talk Gamecocks indeed. Anthony Dillard, what's going on with Frank Martin's health? He doesn't look good. Hope everything is okay with him. Yeah, I was talking to somebody about this just like literally 5 minutes ago. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to make any assumptions. I mean, I know he, shaved his, he's bald now or whatever, but I mean, I don't know. It's tough. It's tough to say. Again, it's a situation I just don't know about. And I'm not going to make any assumptions or make any guesses on his health or anything, but I'll see you in person Saturday, actually. So that's a little bit of news I haven't shared. I'm actually going to the basketball game on Saturday. Going to watch the Gamecocks take on FAMU, which I apologize if you guys heard me earlier this week say, by the way, we were playing Florida, because we're definitely not. We're playing Florida A&M. I don't know why I thought we were playing Florida. I have no clue. But we're playing FAMU, so a game we should definitely win. So that's a nice thing. And thankfully, it's a game where, for a South Carolina team that hasn't played in so long, I think it'll be a nice, it'd be a nice way to kind of ease back into things. You're not taking on Kentucky your first game back. So, Michael, I don't think we hired Todd Grantham. I think that's a rumor that was floating around. I don't think we do. I don't think we do. I mean, like I said, I'm gonna trust in Beamer either way, but I would not be a fan of that hire at all. I would not be a fan of that hire in the slightest. So, yeah, guys, taking your questions, comments, calls. I will put the phone number here, 843-790-3377. Got some really good interviews going down this week, by the way. And again, since you guys are tuned in, I'll give you kind of the spoiler. Obviously, we had Will Crow, chatted with him yesterday. Today, we are chatting with Dacus Turman, if you folks remember that name. Played running back for South Carolina in the mid-2000s. And then tomorrow, we're chatting with Chris White, who blocked for Dacus Turman, who played offensive line and was the Gamecock center for about 3 or 4 years. Was a damn good player on the offensive line too. So some really good conversations, some really good interviews. So you guys will be hearing those over the next week and a half, 2 weeks or so. But yeah, I thought I'd just kind of spill and give you guys the inside track what's going on. So let's see. Let me make sure I open up the phone lines here. Yeah, need to open the phone lines. Yeah, if you guys want to call in, 843-790-3377. Quick reminder, of course, the podcast dropped this morning, episode 348. And I'll ask you guys, because the topic of conversation today was about the top 5 moments for the Gamecocks in 2020. So on field, off field, whatever. What are you guys' top 5 moments? Like, what moments for you? It doesn't have to be the typical thing. I feel like I kind of went along the path of the typical stuff. But what are your personal top 5 Gamecock moments in 2020? I'm very curious. So, yeah. Somebody texts in and says, what positions has Beamer not hired yet? So he needs to hire a wide receivers coach, defensive coordinator, and either it's going to be another defensive assistant, either linebackers or defensive back, because it depends on what position the defensive coordinator himself wants to coach. So that's going to kind of dictate what he does from there. So. Firing Muschamp, number 1. So that definitely made my top 5. And I didn't put it number 1. Because I was like, you know what? I don't know. I was like, there's other things that happened that I'm going to put above it. But it was number 3 for me. Number 2 was Couisnard's buzzer beater against Kentucky. Number 1 was Shane Beamer being hired, actually. So I'll go down my list again. I know I'm kind of jumping all over the place. Number 5 was Dawn Staley and company beating UConn, finally getting that monkey off their back, if you will. Number 4 was South Carolina. Number 4 was South Carolina beating Auburn in football. That was a great moment, obviously, for South Carolina. Number 3 was Muschamp being fired. Number 2 was Couisnard's buzzer beater against Kentucky. And the number 1, Shane Beamer getting hired. So that was my top 5. Again, I'd love to hear you guys' top 5. Is there anything that jumps out to you that's a little bit off the wall that maybe I didn't have on my list, or something that maybe is personal to you? I think that would be cool as well. Yeah, so let's see. Somebody texted in. Beating Auburn, Muschamp fired, Kevin Harris 1,000 yards. That's a good one. And Shane Beamer hired, 4 of my top 5 moments. And he also says Couisnard's buzzer beater and the ladies' national championship. SC Football Tube, what's going on? Brian Turner, did Bentley get retained or let go? He's gone. I see people talking on Facebook, oh, he's not, we don't know yet. He's gone. Yeah, I mean, there's a reason they hired Eric Kimmery to coach tight ends. It's because Bobby Bentley's not coming back. Lance, what's going on, man? How you doing? Ronnie Creel says, per Gamecock Central, Mason's the leader in the clubhouse and most likely hire at DC. Yeah, and that's what my people are telling me too, so I'm not surprised to hear that. SC Football 2, I was planning to make a top 5 video for a while now, coming on New Year's Eve. Nice. Yeah, this is a great time to obviously reflect on 2020 and look ahead to 2021. And, so these shows this week are a lot of fun. I mean, that's, the one I'm going to record today, that'll be tomorrow's podcast, will be a 2020 year in review, which will be really interesting, right? Because 2020 was so crazy, up and down, a bit tumultuous. But you see behind me, the whole point, and I want to leave you guys with this message, or give you guys this message, share this message with you. It says 2021 won't be better if you aren't. And the point of that is that there's some people out there that think just flipping the calendar is going to make them happy or feel good or do whatever. You have to change your attitude for anything else will change. You know what I mean? Like, because I look at 2020, I don't think 2020 was that bad of a year. I mean, obviously there were many issues and obstacles and adversity, but when you have perspective, it's like, was 2020 really that bad? We have a lot still to be thankful for. So that's kind of the way I look at it. Ronnie Creel says, I heard Bentley was offered an off-the-field role. I'd be happy with him sticking around. I just don't think on-field like staff, yeah, he's going to be a coach. SC football too. I got a good feeling about South Carolina baseball now. Yeah, I'm pumped. I'm fired up for baseball, bro. I cannot wait because we'll literally start in January. We'll start previewing baseball season and breaking down positions and all this stuff. I can't wait. Cannot wait. Travis Worrell, did we not beat UVA up in Charlottesville in basketball back in January 2020, defending champs? I think that was December of 19. I'm pretty sure that was December. So, and honestly, even I would still put probably Kusnar's buzzer beater above it because I was there in person. Like, that was insane. That was such a crazy moment. Andrew Bowers, Ryan versus Doty versus Gauthier is going to be fun. Who knows who will start? You're right, dude. Who knows? Like I said, would you have envisioned at this time last year that a Colorado State transfer would have been the starting quarterback? Nobody would have predicted that. So you just truly never know. Brandon Wagner, I heard Muschamp is getting looked at as DC. Who on God's green earth is telling you that, Brandon? Because whoever they are, God, who is spreading that rumor? Luke Taylor would have loved to see a Garrett Riley co-coordinate with the offense of Mike Bobo. I think we all would have. I still feel good about Bobo, and again, I know it's not the most popular thing in the world, but I think South Carolina could have done much worse. But it just didn't work out to get Riley. It is what it is, man. I think they would have probably gotten Riley if they could have gotten him. So. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Andrew Bowers, yeah, that 3-star back, dude, McDowell, he looked incredible. That run he had last night and how he played in that game last night was awesome. SC football too, personally for me, 2020 was a nightmare. A lot of personal problems went down. Had something in August no one wants to get. I have a feeling 2020 will be better. Yeah, and again, the experience was a lot different for a lot of different people, and I know a lot of people struggled in many ways, and financially, personally, some people got sick. I mean, I never got COVID, so I mean, I'm lucky in that regard. I did get strep throat in March, but that's beside the point. But either way, I know 2020 was a crazy year, man, and but I just think again. I've just seen people say like, oh, 2020 won't be better. Well, 2021 will not be better if you don't have a better attitude or you don't change the way you think about things or whatever. Like if you continue to be the same person and just be negative, and why do you think 2021 would be any better than 2020? It's the year, the calendar's not the problem. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. That's just the way I think. That's the way I operate. So let's see. Tyler Noel, Mason fits the bill for what Shane is wanting to build here. High character guy and super energetic. He knows the SEC well, obviously, and I feel like would do well in recruiting. Let's be honest, you're not going to get any studs to play for you. Advantage. The people who are questioning him have to realize that Derek Mason will be a great hire. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why you would judge Derek Mason or any coach for that matter off of what they did at Vanderbilt. Dude, nobody can win at Vanderbilt. Nobody. So, I don't know. I would not knock Derek Mason for anything at Vandy for sure. Christian Carver, I know you were all Gamecock sports. From what I've heard, your specialty is baseball. Well, I played it. I mean, I played it in college. So, I mean, I love it. I love it. And, yeah, I mean, I'm, I say this with all due respect to everybody else in the market or whatever that I'm in or, that talks Gamecock. There's nobody that can cover baseball the way I can cover it. There's not another entity out there. And I think that's the fun part for me is where some people might fall off during, when once football goes away, some people might fall off. Their coverage might fall off during baseball season or what have you. To me, that's where the Spurs Up Show, differentiates itself. That's where the Spurs Up Show separates itself because you're not going to get baseball coverage like I'm going to give you and we're going to give you on the Spurs Up Show. You're just not. Like there's nobody that can cover the game like I can cover it as somebody who actually played it. So, and again, I'm not trying to talk shit to these other guys. That's just how confident I am in my abilities to cover it and break it down and, provide you guys with insight and content and all that. So, Rodney Creel, who is this Walt Deptula character that has Gamecock fans all riled up on Twitter? Just some guy, man. Just some guy. That's really the only way to put it. So I don't even really know who he is, to be honest with you. Lance Player, I know one thing that's about to get better in 2021 football recruiting. We are picking up major steam in the portal and on the trail. Yeah, I think for sure. I trust in Beamer. They're going to be able to put a class together that it's not going to be an ideal class necessarily. It's not going to be, but I think they're going to be able to bring in some good players, no question. So Chandler Bryant, thank you so much. Said he went to Rivals, got his Beamer Ball shirt. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. Andrew Bowers, yes, I did pitch. I played it in Newberry College. So played at Newberry College. Like I said, it's no knock. There's other guys in the South Carolina market, South Carolina demographic, what have you, that do a good job covering South Carolina baseball for sure. But I genuinely just feel and believe in my abilities, and there's nobody that can cover South Carolina baseball the way we do. Nobody. So, and I will stick by that. I will stick by that 110%. So I love it. I plan on being at every single game. I was at every single game up until the everything got shut down due to COVID. But yeah, I mean, I just love it, man. I love the game. I love baseball. Obviously, again, I'm a ball player, played it. Yeah, I can't wait. Can't wait for this year's team. I think South Carolina baseball is prime for a big year. So, Jay Rowland, I know this is off topic, but why would anyone in college football recruit commit to a school like SoCal when they aren't even allowing football in the state? I don't know. It's tough for schools like that. I have no idea because it's really out of their control. So, I mean, maybe they grew up a fan they might still just love the school, man. And, you think coaches are telling them positive things like, hey, this is going to turn around. We're going to play soon. But, I don't know. So. Tyler Noel 2022 class will be at top 25 at a minimum. I can see him getting a top 15 class when it's all said and done. Oh, yeah, dude. When you got a guy like Gunnar Stockton leading the way, I mean, that's going to help you recruit in itself. You know what I mean? You have a guy like Gunnar Stockton that's literally going to be recruiting for you as well. And you have that big-time 5-star quarterback commit. That's going to help you 110%. Heath Hagler was 09 to 12. I was at Newberry, 09 to 12. So, Andrew Bowers, I threw one no-hitter in high school. Did you throw one or come close to throwing one? I threw like a 2-hitter. I threw a few shutouts. I never got the no-hitter for whatever reason, though. I definitely threw a couple 2-hitters and 3-hitters and maybe threw a 1-hitter. I don't know. I don't remember. But I definitely didn't throw a no-hitter. I don't know. I don't know why. Threw some shutouts, though. So, whatever. Got the job done, at least somewhat. Ronnie Pace, do you think we get to Omaha? Listen, that's really tough to say because here's the thing with Gamecock baseball fans. I would tell you guys this. South Carolina could be really, really good this year and be a 500 team in the SEC because the SEC is that loaded. It's that stacked. I mean, I don't have to tell you guys. If you follow SEC baseball at all, look at the team South Carolina goes against with, I mean, just in the East, we're talking Georgia, Vandy, Florida. Boom. Tennessee as a program is a lot better now. Missouri's not a chump. You know what I mean? Like Kentucky, I know they've struggled, but that's still a tough series. Like, and you look at the West, my God, LSU, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Arkansas. I mean, Bama's gotten a lot better as a program. Auburn's a really good. Dude, it's just like top to bottom. It is ridiculous. So, if South Carolina can go 15-15 or 16-14, assuming it's a regular 30-game SEC schedule. I think you'll be hosting a regional, honestly, unless you just completely tank in the non-conference. And this is, again, assuming that everything's going to be normal. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to have a normal baseball season schedule-wise, whatever. But I think this team will be a lot better. But, again, will they get to Omaha? I mean, it's a crapshoot once you get to the postseason. I think South Carolina will definitely have the opportunity to get the super regional. But what's the matchup? Where is it at? I mean, it's tough to say. You know what I mean? It's tough to say. So, I will say this. I don't think you look at this team. I don't know that South Carolina's at that level where you say, no brainer, they're an Omaha team. Like, I don't know that we're at that level, but it's a good baseball team. This is going to be a really, really good baseball team. So, Dustin, Oklahoma tight end in the transfer portal. Maybe we can get him. Yeah, I think you're going to see us hammering the transfer portal, man. I definitely did see that. So Heath Hagler, Kevin Hastings was a freshman there. Your senior year, he played with me at Spring Valley High School. I played at USC Lancaster. Yeah, dude, Hastings was my guy, the captain. The captain, man. Hastings was a legend. So my freshman year, I got there fall of 2009. So my years playing, my freshman year playing was 10. So because Hastings got there, I think, either the year after me or the 2 years after me. But we spent a year together for sure. So Hastings is a legend, man. Hastings was a legend for sure. Ronnie Pace, I love SEC baseball. Me too. No, it's a blast, man. It's the best in the country. There's no doubt about it. It's the absolute best. Ronnie Creel says, Dabo logic, Ohio State shouldn't be the playoffs since they haven't played enough games due to COVID, but the Heisman should attach its name to Trevor Lawrence, even though he didn't play in as many games due to COVID. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just say for Dabo, control what you can control, Dabo. Worry about yourself. So I hope they lose, though, because I'd love that. You know, that would be a rant of epic proportions if Clemson loses to Ohio State. So you got a little bit of rain outside. Is it raining? Mm-hmm. Got a texter texting in my opinion, Trevor Lawrence doesn't deserve the Heisman. Now, he won't win it. It's either going to be Devontae Smith or Mac Jones, 100%. So, yeah, it's either going to be Mac Jones or Devontae Smith for sure. How about Deadspin named Dabo Sweeney Idiot of the Year? Their 6th ranked Idiot of the Year. SC Football Tube for the 2021 football season. Would you be down for doing a podcast together? I'd be more than happy to work with you, man. Just hit me up. Yeah, just hit me up. We'll work something out. So, Dustin, who do you got winning the Super Bowl? I'm a Panthers fan. I don't think the Panthers are going to win the Super Bowl. It's probably going to be Chiefs. Either Chiefs or who else? Who else would it be? Maybe Steelers? Dude, I barely watch NFL. I'll be totally honest with you. Matthew Risvold, who do you want as strength coach? Well, I guess I kind of on Steven Garcia's side. Coach Joe would be dope. I mean, I don't, dude. Whoever Beamer brings in, I'll be fine with. I mean, I'm not like picky when it comes to that. Andrew Bowers, if Clemson loses to Ohio State, every Clemson fan and player and coach, hell, even the media will make up some excuses to why they lost. You're probably right. You are probably right. Yeah, somebody said the Packers as well. Oh, Ravens definitely. Yeah, definitely Ravens could do it. Yeah. Ronnie Pace, I'm still working on the Spurs Up Show flags. I will get on that. Like I said, the last time I got mine made, I got it from somebody on Etsy. So I've just got to see what that would be like as far as like getting a vendor to do it. But hey, if you are interested in a Spurs Up Show flag or a Beamer Ball flag or a flag with any of the logos we've made, DM me because I'd like to get a head count. You know what I mean? I'd like to get a count because it might be a thing where I have to order it as I go. So just let me know. SC Football too. I also make baseball content. Might have you on for the Clemson preview and of course trash talking. I think we'll win the Palmetto Series this year, dude. Let's do it. I love it. I love it for sure, man. It's a great time. So, let's see. Andrew Bauer says the Saints are winning it all. It'll be interesting. Postseason NFL playoffs will be very interesting. How about the Bills? Yeah, how about the Bills, man? I got a lot of buddies that are Bills fans. I'd love to see the Bills win it. To be honest with you, that'd be awesome. Lance Player, okay, it's been too long time to bring out the daily Sling Blade comment. Yep, Sling Blade is here to stay. So, Again, guys, taking your questions, comments, calls as well. 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. Just getting an update here. Looks like Wake Forest just scored. I've got Wake Forest in this game, so Dustin, what are the prices on your flags? So that's what I have to figure out. I don't even know how much they'd be to produce. I think I paid like 30 for mine, so I'd probably sell them for like, I don't know, 40. I have no idea. I mean, like I said, I'd have to see what what the deal is with that. So could turn the game on TV, I guess. I mean, you guys won't be able to see it, so what's the point? Let's see. Again, guys, taking your questions, comments, calls. What do you guys want to get into? You guys excited for New Year's Eve? Got any big New Year's Eve plans? I think it's crazy, by the way. I was talking about this with somebody else, that when you think about it, I mean, bars can't do New Year's Eve parties because you can't drink after 11. So, like, what's the point? It's going to be nothing but house parties, right? Crazy. Tyler Noel, running back room has the potential to be one of the best, if not the best in the country next year. I agree. I mean, it's going to be loaded. I mean, Marshawn Lloyd, Kevin Harris, Deshaun Fenwick, Rashad Amos. You add in the Caleb McDowell kid. I mean, you're going to have some studs in that backfield. There's no question. Rob Smith, do you think we get back to the normal schedule next season? If you're talking football, yes, I think we do. Yes, I 100% think we do. So, just getting on any DC news. Nothing new. I'd still say I think Derek Mason's a leader in the clubhouse right now from what I've heard, but nothing new to update now. Thomas Walker, playoff should ideally be a 16-team playoff. Play a game every week. No games off before or after conference championships. Get pointers from North Dakota State on how to do it. Why wouldn't want to see a 9 or 10 seed win a natty? Or who wouldn't, he says. I mean, I'm game. I'm all about expanding the playoff. I will say I do listen to the argument that some people make that say if you have a 16-team playoff, it takes away some of the importance of the regular season. And that's one of the things that makes college football great. So I hear out that argument. That's why let's go to 8 first and see how that goes. Let's go to 8 first. And then we'll kind of see how it evolves and how it shakes out. But you got to expand the playoff. You just have to. Jordan Drake, over-under on Garcia's beer count for New Year's Eve. I'd say a zillion beers, and he's going to go way over. Oh, yep. Andrew Bowers, we could have the best running back room in the SEC. I agree with you. No, I definitely agree with you. Let's see. Patron Mathis, how do you feel about USC being Texas A&M's permanent cross-division rival? I enjoy it because it allowed me to discover your show. Much respect, Giga Mags. Well, I mean, I enjoy it. I think it's a great matchup. I wish we could win a couple, but no, I mean, it's a fun game. I just like to see South Carolina stop losing to A&M. So, Travis Wells says Wake Forest is up 14-0. Wow. I might have to cut it on the TV. Why not? Let's see. William Shue, we got to go after that new Oklahoma tight end that just hit the portal. Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, we need all the players we can get. Let's get after all of them. See if this will work. Trying to get it going here on the TV, doing the AirPlay thing. Why is it not going? There we go, maybe. Come on. ESPN app is not wanting to cooperate. Oh, here we go. Boom. Shoot. Can you got? Oh, here we go. I can turn it on my phone. Good. Can you guys hear that in the background? I don't think you should be able to, but can you guys hear that game in the background? Wow. Wake Forest is doing work. Doing absolutely. I'd stream it on the live stream, but honestly, last time I did that with the game, it's so choppy. I don't know. Plus, we're talking Gamecocks. Do we really care about Wake Forest, Wisconsin? I mean, it's football, though. Hey, feels good, right? There's a football game on at noon in the, on a Wednesday. I mean, hell, I'll take that. Dude, I can't wait to watch Florida, Oklahoma tonight, to be totally honest with you. Lance Player, appreciate you, man. The logo hat. I did see that get shipped. I appreciate you a lot, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. There we go. That's my freaking eye, man. Yeah, guys, taking your questions, comments, calls, 843-790-3377. Also, just a quick reminder, of course, the podcast did drop this morning, episode 348. Talking my top 5 moments for the Gamecocks in 2020. Phil Harris, where's that Sling Blade t-shirt design? Dude, I feel like we could just put that picture I showed you on the shirt. Like, just literally put that picture of Sling Blade with the Carolina logo. But we can't sell it with the Carolina logo. We can't sell it with the Carolina logo. So I'll have to get on that. Patron Mathis says, is there any rivalry between South Carolina and North Carolina? Being from Texas, we never hear much, but I suspect it will be a natural rivalry. By the way, I would buy a Spurs Up shirt where they're on tsus.store if you want to check them out. And I mean, they don't really play enough. But I mean, you ask any South Carolina fans don't like North Carolina. I mean, I know I don't like them. So Lance Player, can't wait for a Spurs Up Show tailgate. Yeah, that'll be the plan. That'll be the plan for football season in 2021. Absolutely. So Sydney Boyle, do you think Amos will get much playing time? I think that, I mean, he's going to be in such a crowded backfield. You know what I mean? I think they'll use him, but it's going to be Marshawn Lloyd and Kevin Harris 24/7. So Thomas Walker, what's your opinion on making pitching changes due to analytics and stats? Cost Dave Roberts a World Series last year, and the other team doing it won it for him this year. Here's what I'll say about the analytics and stuff. Because, like, when I played, and I'm making myself sound so old, but, like, when I played baseball, we didn't have all this analytics shit. We didn't have TrackMan. We didn't have spin rate. We didn't have launch angle. But you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't use it and acknowledge it and because you got to have a mix, right? Like, Kingston's a big analytics guy, but I'm sure Mark Kingston would tell you too. As important as the analytics are, you've also got to have that feel for the game, that gut feeling that says, hey, leave him in, take him out, whatever it is, pinch hit for this guy, do this in this situation. You got to have that. You know what I mean? But also, you can't ignore the analytics. If you ignore the analytics, I mean, it's literally there to help you. That's what the analytics, that's the point of the analytics. But there's definitely going to be situations in baseball games where you just, as a baseball person, you use your instincts. You trust your instincts. You trust your gut. So you got to have that mix. You got to have that balance. You know what I mean? Like I'm not sitting here like I'm honestly not a huge analytics guy. Like if I was, but you know, I don't know. Like if I started to coach, all these numbers and stuff that are available to you, it's there to help. Like, and it can tell you a lot of interesting things. Obviously, and you can learn about yourself, your game, all of that. So I just think it's something that you don't want to get too analytical because, again, I think you have to have that baseball instinct. You have to have, like, as a coach, you got to have that. You got to know when to go with your guy, when to take him out, stuff like that. So I think making decisions purely on analytics, I don't think is the right move, but you can't ignore the analytics. You got to be able to balance that and say, here's what the numbers are telling me, but here's what my gut and my instinct are telling me. Where do we meet in the middle of those two? That's the best way I would put it. So, let's see. Great question, though. Honestly, great question. So, Mike, do you think the offense next year will resemble Oklahoma's? I mean, not exactly. We don't have the players Oklahoma has, but I think Shane Beamer's certainly going to bring some of that with him to Columbia. So, Phil says UNC is the snobby wine and cheese crowd that are scared of Carolina fans. They would have their daddy sue us after a fight. Ooh, Wisconsin with the leap, with the hurdle. Let's see. Austin Kane, top 2 showouts this year in baseball. Brendan Malone, number one. Dude is going to be he's just going to be a freak. That is the next to me great South Carolina hitter. So I think Brendan Malone, number one. And number two, it's tough to say because I almost feel like everybody would be a show out at this point because guys like a guy like Thomas Farr, he didn't get to really show out last year. Hell, he wasn't in the starting rotation till like the third week of the season. Thomas Farr is going to be a damn stud on Friday nights for Carolina. Dude has hella stuff. Andrew Bowers, what size bat did you swing? Yeah, I went 34, but I mean, I was a pitcher. I didn't hit a whole lot. So, Ryan Hobby, Tanner was definitely a gut feeling guy. He changed everything in the dugout for the game. He was, and again, but when he coached, analytics wasn't a thing either. I would venture to say, I bet you that Ray Tanner would have used the analytics a little bit, honestly. So. Yeah, I can't wait for baseball either. So Donnie Cunningham says, where can I read that? Where can you read what? I would love to point you in the direction of what you're looking for. Patron Mathis, sometimes the analytics take the fun out of the game, but ignorance is not bliss. I don't know that it takes the fun out. I mean, it just kind of is what it is. You know what I mean? Like I said, you can't, like you're saying, you can't totally ignore it. You know what I mean? Toby says, from what I'm reading online, Beamer is turning a lot of heads amongst 4-star and 5-star guys for the 2022 signing list. I'm sure he is. I expect his first class at South Carolina to be, pretty damn good. His first actual legitimate class to be very damn good. So, Will, is Gamecock baseball going to be better? Yes. I think they're going to have a really good team this year, personally. So, Lance Player, I think our offense will look a lot like Spurrier, Shaw offenses, and that is awesome. Run first, hit them deep, and use the tight ends. Yeah, the running game is still going to be a big part of Gamecock football. No question. And it should be. You got really good backs. It should be. All right, let's jump to the phone lines. We've already got a call here. Let's go. Hey, yo, Parrish. What's up, man?
Good, Chris. How you doing, man?
I'm chilling, man. Chilling. Just having a Wednesday. So appreciate you calling in.
All right, Chris. Look, I know I'm late. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm late on the Mike Bobo news.
Right.
Busy. So I'm still mad, Chris.
Still mad?
All right, look. Tell you why I'm mad, right? So I am one of the fans, right? I am one of the fans who is kind of, I got a different opinion about it, right? I'm gonna tell you why I like the hire. It ain't got nothing to do with Ryan Haliski. Because me personally, I don't like Ryan Haliski.
Right.
Like, I fight Ryan Haliski. He's straight, but Doty is the guy.
You don't like him as your starting quarterback. It's nothing personal. You just don't like him as your starting quarterback. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'm not gonna lie, right? I'm gonna be honest with you. I could honestly see Ryan Haliski being over there in Florida with Dan Mullen right now. I can see him probably doing the same thing Kyle Trask doing, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? I can see.
Yeah, I mean, if you gotta put a guy in the right system. I mean, that might be the system for him. You never know.
Right, and this is the thing I want a lot of fans to realize too, right? Like, no one is business. There's no way, like they just jumped over Halinsky because they just didn't like Halinsky. It's something right. Halinsky was doing in practice that showed them he wasn't the guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of fans are in their feelings about that, but they gotta look at the business, man. Halinsky probably didn't show up in practice how he's supposed to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think it's all this with that. I feel like, you know what I'm saying, it just don't make any sense to really have Halinsky because one, you got an offensive line that ain't that good, so you're gonna have to run.
Yeah.
Two, you ain't got the receiver. You know what I'm
saying? Let's just say this: the narrative that Mike Bobo and Will Muschamp, or just really specifically we'll stick with Bobo. The narrative that Ryan Halinsky did not play because Mike Bobo has some personal vendetta or doesn't like the kid, it's just a complete fallacy. It's just false. It's just bottom line. It's just false, and it's honestly a narrative that I don't think should be entertained by anyone. I know it's something popular that people say, but it's completely false. It's just not. These people are getting paid millions of dollars. Their jobs are on the line every single day. Do you really think they're not going to play the guy that gives them the best chance to win? So, yeah, continue. I just want to throw that in there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I seen it, and to be honest with you, Chris, I feel like it's a lot of kids saying that, man.
Right.
A lot of our kids saying. I see a couple grown men say it too. It ain't no better than that. They so better than that. But I see a lot of kids saying that. All right, number 2, right? So this is why this is why I fight Mike Bobo. I think to me, I didn't like the hire.
Right.
I watched the show last week with Alex McGrath. That's my favorite day to watch the show. No lie. When you put Alex McGrath in there, like, cause I like his perspective.
Yeah.
Everything Alex McGrath be saying, like, to me, it make clear-cut sense.
Yeah.
And he was like, I can't remember like verbatim, but I remember him saying I just don't think Mike Bobo like can put how can I word this? Like can put receivers in like certain spots to get those guys to make the best of their ability. If you get what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, some offensive coordinators, right? Like they can put guys like Tony Elliott, for example, at Clemson. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not trying to shit on Clemson, but I don't think their receivers, to me, really is like standing out receivers. Really, I just think he draw up plays to put these guys in spaces to where they can catch the ball. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Mike Bobo is that good with that. I think Bobo is more good with getting good run protection. You know what I'm saying? And finding ways how to get running back holes to get good runs. That's what I think Bobo good at. I think us going forward, we gonna have to throw the ball at decent pace. I just don't think Bobo's capable of getting average receivers, average to decent receivers in open space to do that. Okay, number 2, I gotta disagree with Shane Beamer. You might call me insane. I gotta disagree with Shane Beamer. When Shane Beamer was like, you know, Oklahoma, you know what I'm saying, run game is what did that. I do agree with that. But the reason why the run game was so crazy because people were scared of the passing game. So he was like Shane Beamer was acting like, you know what I'm saying, they run was just more dominant than they arm. No, what was it? Like when you had Baker Mayfield, like I even went back and watched the Georgia game, which is the greatest game of all time I've seen.
Right.
I watched the Georgia game. I went back and watched the Georgia-Oklahoma Rose Bowl game. Baker Mayfield was tearing their ass up on the ball. Like he was running the ball. He had I forgot to run it back then, but he had that boy run the ball too. But he was throwing wide open passes. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think Bobo is capable of we can run the ball. I don't think he's capable of getting us to where the passes that we can make, guys are like the receivers got easy routes and they're wide open in the right, going against the right type of coverage. Like you know, if you play the cover 2, the middle of the field open. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Bobo can draw up plays in the right time to get a receiver open in the middle. You know what I'm saying? Like I just think he's capable. So that's why I think to me, I don't understand why you take less money and do that. I kind of think too, call me crazy. I kind of think too, Ray Taylor had a lot to do with that decision too. I ain't gonna lie, I kind of do.
Well, I'll tell you this first things first. I appreciate the compliment. I have to tell Alex what you said about it's obviously a pleasure to have him on the show. And yeah, I mean, I definitely do love Alex McGrath's perspective, being a former player, and I think he brings a very level-headed approach to everything that happens. So I think his perspective is great. And I appreciate the kind words in that. I would say this back to what you said. I'd have to respectfully disagree with you in the Clemson argument because their receivers are top notch, bro. I mean, you go look at the recruiting rankings and those players and what they do in the NFL. Like here's the thing. You can have the best system in the world, but if you don't have the Jimmies and Joes to go make plays, it doesn't matter. And,
right.
I got a buddy of mine, again, that works for Georgia football and personnel. And again, I won't say his name, obviously, because I'm not going to get him in trouble. But, that's kind of what he was saying to me. He's like, calling offense in college is not that hard. You're just getting the ball to your playmaker. That's literally all you're doing. And you're letting him make plays. And it's just for me, I mean, like I said, I have no issues with Gamecock fans being a little disgruntled and feeling like they're let down a little bit and whatever, having their thoughts on Mike Bobo being retained. But at the same time, like, call it for what it is. I mean, we just did not have the Jimmies and Joes, bro. We didn't have good wide receivers. There's just no other way to put it. I mean, I don't know, I hate to say that because, I mean, I thought I thought Josh Vann, the recruiting process, was going to be a big-time player. I thought Ortre Smith was going to be a big-time player. I thought maybe Dak Joyner, the little bit he did touch the ball, he was dynamic. I thought Xavier Legette was going to have a huge year. I liked Rico Powers and Jakari Caldwell and Mike Wyman, those youngsters, those freshmen. But, I mean, they just didn't pan out. I mean, I don't know what else to say. And I don't know if it was a Muschamp thing. I don't know if it was Joe Cox being the wide receivers coach. A whole team. I think it definitely was a whole team development thing. But for Mike Bobo to get what he got, just in my opinion, out of the offense, when teams knew we were running the ball every single play, and you still had a 1,000-yard rusher. And, again, I will stick by this. I still don't believe Colin Hill played that bad with what he had to work with no wide receivers, with a shoddy offensive line. And then you played a freshman quarterback the last 3 games of the year. So, again, I have no issues with fans, picking apart the decision to keep Mike Bobo and all that. But, again, it's kind of like right now, I say this. I look at it right now, and, again, Eric Sullivan, former Gamecock great, he makes a great point. 379 runs to 337 passes, and that's Oklahoma. So, dude, Oklahoma runs the football, and they definitely run. So, getting back to the point you were making about Oklahoma, again, it's, and people, and I talked to my buddy again at Georgia about this, he talked about, they want air raid. What is really the air raid? People think air raid is just throwing bombs down the field. That's really not what air raid is. Air raid, he was saying, is what Mississippi State did to Georgia a few weeks ago, which is they're not throwing the ball further than 6 or 7 yards past the line of scrimmage. They're literally using the pass as an extended run. They're using the pass to set up the run. And then they're using the run to set up the run. And, again, he got into football terminology that went way over my head, but it was very – and this is a guy, I'll just be honest with you. This is a guy that, being at Georgia, he knows people that are close to Bobo. And, for him, he says that, Bobo's word is like gold to him. He loves Mike Bobo. He thinks he's a great coach. But there's a lot of people that think that way. There's a lot of football people that love Mike Bobo and think he's a great offensive coach. So right now, it's just – I just look at the situation like this. You have one of two sides you can be on. And, again, I think even in this situation, you can still be – I'm still of the party that, I feel like I was a little let down a little bit with who we decided to keep on as OC. I didn't think when it first happened there was any chance Mike Bobo would be the offensive coordinator. So, I wanted Garrett Riley. But with that being said, there's one of two sides you can be on right now. You're either on the side of the fans who are going crazy and think he sucks and he don't know what he's doing and he hates Ryan Helinski and blah, 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 blah. Or you can side on the side of the football people like Shane Beamer, like every other coach or anybody that former players that I've talked to. These guys all love Mike Bobo. Hey, guess what? I was on Eric Kimmery's podcast, who's now the tight ends coach. He loves Bobo. He loves him. So, I'm going to trust the football people. You know what I'm saying? I know that football people also said Will Muschamp's a great coach. And, maybe he's a good defensive coordinator, whatever. We all know his shortcomings as a head coach. But, I look at, too, even from just my perspective, if you want to just eliminate all of that. You don't want to listen to the football people, fine. But I just challenge you to look at South Carolina's offense this year. I mean, my God, if we had anybody who could catch the ball, again, I hear you what you're saying. The system at Clemson's great and it gets guys open. But those guys get themselves open. Those wide receivers are nasty. If you put those wide receivers on South Carolina's roster this year, Colin Hill's stats would have looked a lot different. Who do we have on the roster right now? You can just say, hey, one-on-one, we're just going to throw it up to you, go make a play. There's nobody. I mean, all due respect to Shi Smith, what he did, he had a great year. But, do you really view Shi Smith as Alshon? Do you view him as Sidney Rice? Do you view him up there with George Pickens and some of the other elite receivers in the SEC? Just be honest. Is he Brian Edwards? You know what I mean? Again, all due respect to Shi. I'm not trying to take anything away. I'm just trying to make the point of I think Bobo did the most with what he had. I mean, I really do. So, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. It might not work out with Bobo, but again, I just, and especially, and then hearing Shane Beamer saying that, we're going to bring things, what we did at Oklahoma, we're going to bring that to Columbia. And it sounds like to me Shane Beamer's definitely going to have a hand in the offense. So, which makes me feel a lot better about that decision to keep Mike Bobo. So again, is it Garrett Riley? Is it some of the flashy, sexy names we heard? No, it's not. But I think we could do much, much worse than Mike Bobo is the OC. Much worse than Bobo.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Hey, you never know. We'll see. It may not work out. And if it doesn't, he's on a 1-year contract. We can go get another guy next year if we really need to. So,
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, Chris. I was just bro, I was in my head. I was like, I had our coaching staff already picked out.
Well, and I think the thing too is this, Parrish. I think that people are just so beaten down and exhausted and tired from the Muschamp era. They want nobody from the Muschamp tenure to stick around.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I'm surprised how many holdovers there were. I really am, because I really thought it was one of those things where, like, you need to just clean house. But at the same time, there are good coaches on staff. I mean, and a lot of them had only been here a year. So I mean, it's not like they were there all 4 or 5 years and whatever, kind of built this culture into what it was at this point. But like I said, we'll kind of see what happens, man. I mean, like I said, I was interested in the holdovers, and I'll be interested to see who the DC is going to be and the rest of the assistants. But I'm not jumping off I'm not jumping off a ledge because we kept Mike Bobo on. I've definitely come around more so to the idea of him being the offensive coordinator. And for me, here's my thing. I think Mike Bobo is a good offensive football coach. I think this dude knows the game. I really do. My biggest thing was I would have loved to have hired an offensive coordinator who had a proven track record of running a spread it out, up-tempo offense. You know what I mean? As long as he's willing to do that, I have no issues. And I think with Shane Beamer, him bringing what he's bringing from Oklahoma, they're going to do that. I mean, that's the other thing too, man. It's like you either trust Shane Beamer or you don't. So I trust the fact that I don't think Shane Beamer would just bring a guy on who he thinks is going to sabotage his program. He has no ties to Mike Bobo. So, yeah.
Yeah. I got one more quick question too. Right?
Yeah, go ahead.
So without the holdovers that we have or whatever, what do you think? What is Shane Beamer, right? He come in here and he make us this same staff. Like pretty much all the holdovers that he got from Muschamp people. What if he make Muschamp people like the stars? You know what I'm saying? Like just a dominant staff. It would speak volumes from Muschamp to Shane Beamer.
Yeah, I think it will, and I think you're going to see that from his staff, from his players, and like I said, I think that there's a lot of talented coaches and there's a lot of talented players on this roster. And I think you're going to see, a guy like Shane Beamer get the absolute most of them, and I think it's going to speak a lot to, unfortunately, just the shortcomings of the previous staff. So, but yeah, Parrish, we're going to wrap it up. We got a couple of more callers trying to get in, but appreciate it as always, my friend. Thanks so much.
No problem. All right, man.
All right, take care, brother. Thanks. Yeah, good call. 843-790-3377. I didn't realize that the Duke Mayo Bowl was in Charlotte, by the way. Did not realize that. Did not. Very interesting call for sure. I saw somebody calling in, 843 number. If you want to call in again, you actually tried to call in 4 times. So if you want to call in again, and here we go. Here they are. Yo, what's going on, man? How are you?
Hey, I'm all right, man. Thanks for taking my call, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, first off, that last caller, man, actually, I think he made some pretty good points. I mean, not maybe on all of it, but I will say, not to disagree with you per se, but I do feel like Clemson has not necessarily been known for their 5-star receivers. I mean, they haven't had bad ones at all. I mean, but I don't know if you look recruiting-wise, how many 5-star per se that they get at that position. It's mostly defensive line and, quarterback, stuff like that. Like, a lot of, I think maybe Justin Ross was ranked pretty high.
Yeah, Ross was
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like, Shi Smith was 4-star, Ortre was 4-star. I mean, you compare I mean, I'm not saying it's the same, but it's not that far off.
Yeah.
They're mostly just 4-star guys that they just get a lot of production out of. So, to that point, I'll say they're not bums by any means, but they're not necessarily like the strength of the team for what that's worth. And I know you've answered this question before a lot, man. I'm going to be pretty quick and get off and let you answer this. But, again, I try to tune in a lot and listen, man. But I don't know, maybe you've answered this already. But to me, my only qualms about the staff, man, I mean, I'm the same as you. I'm like, look, Beamer's got my 100% all-in buy-in, and I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and all that. But I can't help but just think in my head that, maybe a lot of other fans feel the same way, that they're like, look, when we hired somebody, like Beamer, you had the idea that he's been collecting contacts and he's been developing relationships and connections. And I believe that to be true still. But you would think that based on that alone, that you really, if the culture was the problem, And I don't know if you agree the same that a head coach really what they do, I don't want to say it's overrated, but it doesn't have the direct on-field result that people think it does, right? It's not. It's more of the culture that they do, and it's more of the development that the position coaches implement, right? The head coach only goes so far.
Right.
You're not just going to say the team's going to look night and day different because you swap the coach out, right?
Right.
But I guess what I'm getting at is a lot of people complain that the development of the players has been so bad. And I guess my line of thinking here is if you've got a guy with a laundry list of connects who's been developing connects, all these top programs, and then you've got a team that has a bad culture and bad development, you would think you wouldn't probably bring hardly anyone back from that staff.
Right.
And I know that's a popular thing to say, but it helped me understand. Kitchings, I knew everyone's all in on Kitchings. I'm all in for it too. Like, I totally get it. I understand the whole, like, they didn't have a normal off-season thing.
Right.
I can even understand the Bobo thing. But, like, someone like Rocker, I don't get that. Someone like even Peterson, I know he's spoken highly of, but, like, he's been there for the duration of the Muschamp stuff.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. I mean, I'll hang up. You tell me, but I just want to know, like, how we can, go to sleep at night without any losses or wins to show for so far, and think that that's like the best scenario we could have hoped for. You know what I'm saying? So I'll hang up, man. I appreciate you taking my call.
No, I appreciate it, man. Thanks so much for the call. Yeah, no, good stuff. So you make some good points. That's a fair, and something maybe I didn't think about quite as much. That's a fair criticism. I will say this though, because outside of Peterson, who again, whatever, you keep him on. I would say my biggest thing back to that is you look at Bobo, Rocker, and Kitchings, they'd only been here a year. And I mean, do you really even count 2020 as being here a full year? So did they really get the opportunity to, and I would say all three of those coaches, I mean, I know I gave Rocker a little bit of a harsh grade because I thought the South Carolina defensive line didn't quite have the season I hoped it would, but beginning of the season, when everybody was healthy, they played pretty decently. And then I think the job Kitchings did obviously was phenomenal. And I think Bobo did a good job in 2020. So, because I agree with you as far as the culture and kind of cleaning it out. And I was surprised how many holdovers there were. But I don't know that guys like Bobo, Kitchings, and Rocker especially contributed to that negative culture. I mean, those guys haven't been here that long. Is that fair, though, to say? Yeah, I think that's fair. I would say this again, though, to the Clemson wide receiver argument thing. Like, dude, and just this is everybody, like, Clemson has studs all over the field. Not even just wide receiver, tight end, offensive line. They're running back, obviously. Trevor Lawrence, obviously. So it's not just the system. Like, they have really good players. So they have really good players. I don't, I don't see it otherwise. They got great players, and definitely some development because, hey, we've had some 4-star wide receivers come in, like you said, but definitely development, I think, has played a big part, and they've developed their guys. Give them credit. They found a way to develop them. And again, when you have so many riches that they have, you know what I mean? When you have so many good players, it's easy to develop guys and get other guys open, and you're getting one-on-one matchups and all that. So, But again, I will say this because you said something that changing the head coach doesn't change anything. And you are right to a degree, but I will say this. It does change a lot. You know what I mean? It does change a lot. And I think the biggest change you're going to see from 2020 to 2021 with South Carolina football is going to be the way this team plays, right? Those are the things I think we can measure in year one. How does this team play? Are they disciplined? Do they commit stupid penalties? Do they give great effort? Do they not quit? You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Are they a well-coached football team? And if you see that, and you say to yourself, okay, now we're well-coached. Now we just got to go get some big-time players. So, and I think that's what we're going to see, though, in 2021. That's what we're going to see from Shane Beamer is a well-coached football team, for sure. So, but again, great points. Appreciate the calls, guys. Great points obviously made. That's going to do it all for today. Appreciate you all tuning in. Again, go check out the podcast if you had not. Episode 348 dropped this morning, breaking down my top 5 Gamecocks moments in 2020. Obviously, again, we'll return tomorrow noon to 1, and of course, on Friday, noon to 1 as well. Guys, hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks so much.